chances slip away in the 7th end. The 3-time champion blew this split race, and Martin stole 2 on his way to the final. Scotland's David Smith kept it close in his semi-final win over the United States. Smith lost to Ed Werenich in last year's final and is back for another shot. The question today is, will we see a repeat of the broom bickering that popped up Wednesday night? During that match, Kevin Martin switched corn brooms halfway through the game, giving the ice more unpredictability. Canada would win, but Scotland vowed revenge in this corny controversy.
I don't mind a corn broom if there's a wee bit of corn about it. You can clean, as I say, but if somebody brings out something like that, ice was absolute quality.
Scotland's not used to sweeping against corn, and then they make a lot of mistakes with it out there. So, but, you know, I don't feel sorry for you.
Canada and Scotland, the men's final at the 1991 Canada Safeway World Curling Championships. Way back when this roaring game began in Scotland, and today, where the growth has really come along in Canada, Canada plays against the Scots. Kevin Martin will try to bring Canada another Canadian men's curling championship. Behind us, there is some Scottish curling song and revelry going on right now. This is what the game is about. It is a gentleman's game, they say, but it was not a gentleman's game earlier this week when the controversy erupted around that corn broom incident. It was Kevin Martin and David Smith. Smith did not like the corn and litter on the ice. There were words exchanged. They called the Canadians cheaters. Did they cheat? Did they not cheat? Martin said, no, it's part of the game. Don Chevrier and Ray Turnbull, what do you think?
Well, it's you know, kind of a double-edged sword in a way. You can appreciate where maybe you could look at a rule that says you can't change your equipment during the game. What you start with, you finish with. I don't think Kevin Martin intentionally was going out to do anything that was illegal. I can understand the emotion of Smith in the situation, too. You were here, Ray. What did you think?
Well, you know, Don, it's really a hard thing to even comment on. Kevin Martin didn't do anything that he did all through the Brier. The one thing about the Scots are they are a little paranoid about the corn on the ice. But David Smith, what he is complaining basically about is the fact that he felt that Kevin went in and got a dry old broom to create that. The point of contention was that Kevin's broom broke in the 8th end. He happened to be down 1 at the time, and he did go and get a new broom. So it led to a lot of heated conversation and a lot of nasty words. I do say one thing about the sweeping with the corn broom. I think that you can question the fact that when the rock is heavy, anybody is sweeping into the stone, you know, and then that looks a little bit obvious that you're trying to sweep the corn underneath the stone to slow it up. So sure. It's something that we'll watch for today and we'll stay on top of throughout the whole game.
Well, let's hope emotions have cooled for this final today. Let's go to Tracy Wilson now.
Okay, with me is Jules Oucher, the 5th on the Canadian team, and Jules, the broom controversy. Is Kevin going to bring out the broom again today?
Kevin's going to use the broom. He's not going to change his game plan. He's used it all year. He's never been called on it, so I don't see why we shouldn't use it.
Any animosity between the two teams? There must be.
I don't know. It sounds by the paper that Mr. Smith is putting some controversy, but it doesn't look like to the boys. We don't feel any animosity. The rules are the rules, and we've been curling like this all year, so I don't see any problem.
Has it been blown out of proportion?
I think so. You know, you got to look for some little thing, and this is probably the only thing that's been controversial this week.
Thanks, Jules. Don?
Okay, Tracy, well, it did serve to get the game of curling and the World Championships a little extra publicity. It was prominently told in the St. Petersburg, Florida Times the other morning, top of the sports page, about a curling controversy up in Canada, and they dealt at reasonable length with the issue.
Well, what does they say about any publicity is better than no publicity at all? But in a sense, I think there were some things said that and David Smith is a very emotional guy and very quick to react. So, you know, he may have said something that fired up the media, for example, and he doesn't like it, and he doesn't hold his emotions back. He's not afraid to spit out and say what he feels, and he felt that Kevin Martin was sweeping into the stone and had taken out an old broom to try and get some straw on the ice. And but as Jules said, it's nothing that Kevin Martin has not done all through the Brier, all through the year. It's the way he plays. He's sweeping with the broom. I looked at the broom closely again today when I got here. It doesn't look like it's been doctored or anything done to it. It's just a corn broom, and yes, it does leave some pulp on the ice surface.
Well, we are underway. 10 ends. The men's world championship on the line here.
There's that nasty little broom, Don. Sorry, excuse me for interrupting.
That's the culprit. Well, you wonder how 20 years ago anybody played the game. I mean, the corn broom left debris all over the ice.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, we for how many years did we play with in this country without the brush at all?
And the brush is not without fault, too. The little horsehairs get left on the ice. Much harder to spot than a longer outer piece of the corn broom.
And when a hair catches the rock is gone. Well, it's interesting to watch this game. Kevin has showed us everything through the Brier once again, and here all week. He showed us a lot of defensive ability, great defensive ability, but he also has a great sense of timing, Don. He knows when to go, and I think we'll see some Rocks play. David Smith, two-time runner-up. He's sick and tired of getting to the finals and not winning. He wants this win so bad he can taste it. It's all over his face. It's all over the team's faces. He wants this win. He wants to take Scotland a world championship. It's been since 1967, and Chuck Hay, father of David Hay, since the Scots have won. And they still think it's their game.
They did start it after all.
Wow. Clean. Wow.
This is the second for Scotland, Peter Smith. Or for Canada, at least. Dan Petrick won All-Star honors at the Brier in Hamilton. Again, the ice at the Brier, not as conducive to a come-around game as it has been in Winnipeg, but having said that, the expected is happening here in the first end. Straight takeout, trading shot for shot, just the way it was supposed to be between these two. Now here's Peter Smith. He's 26. His team is representing the St. Martin's Curling Club in Perth, Scotland. Perth itself the scene of many world championships in the past.
92% in the semifinal. That's great curling. Well, I have to just reflect back just a moment, and I can honestly tell you, Don, my heart just split for Julie Sutton, as I said, and I almost broke down with her. Having stood there and having lost the World Championship myself, I could, in a small way, relate to how she felt. It certainly wasn't as big a sport in those days as it was when I lost it, but still, it's a World Championship, and I know how she feels, and hopefully Julie gets a chance to go back, as did Heather Houston and other curlers in the past, to win it the next time around.
Well, it's tough enough to lose, but when you lose not having been able to get the shot in that you wanted, to give yourself the chance to win, it has to hurt all the more. You saw her rock curled over and made contact with a guard and just left the draw for a Norwegian skip, and it was all over.
Easy, easy.
Graham Connell.
Way over on the side, but in play. Martin promptly indicates they'll go behind this.
Strawweight 9. 13.5 over there?
13.5.
3.4.
Sounds like the stock exchange on the floor.
Buy, buy, sell, sell.
Okay, I'll give you a 13.5.
The timing from hog line to hog line.
That corn broom that you talked about that Martin is holding, I don't remember them being green before, unless my eyes are really going.
No,
Just for line.
just for weight.
Just for line. Long weight.
Yep.
Rock weight. Heavy. Easy, easy. We're heavy. Play it off the guard then. Yep.
Hurry. Hurry. We're on the red one.
Come on.
Maybe a little spin off to catch the rings and ease the other one out of play, and that's what he does. Not what he wanted, though.
Well, they played it very tight to try and tuck it underneath it, and you had to, and no problem. First in, touch the front one, roll it in.
Now Connell for Scotland. His nickname is Inch High Private Eye, which probably requires more explanation than I can offer.
Yeah, don't dare even attempt to understand it.
Graham's just 21 years of age, the third for Scotland's team. He replaces the Canadian Stone. Martin taps it. Broom right on the rock. Well, we talked about the corn broom controversy of a few days ago, but Martin, for one, thinks it's blown way out of proportion.
He's caused all the controversy, and it's just garbage controversy. The fans won't be behind him at all because of all this stupidity. Like, anybody that knows the game and knows corn brooms laughs at him like it's a joke.
Well, that's telling it like it is.
He certainly didn't mix any words, did he?
At least from Kevin's perspective.
That's right.
David Smith, who knows how this will affect him today, whether he's still smoldering over the issue, how it'll affect his game. I mean,
you know, the other thing that kind of fans the fire, so to speak, Don, is that there always has been, I guess there always will be, a little feeling between Canada and Scotland. There, you know, you remember back in the years when we were doing a lot more curling. Well,
they didn't practice.
Try and listen to Kevin a bit.
Okay. I didn't know how much they'd go on near way out there on the edge. Lots.
There's a rivalry between these two countries. Of course, Scotland, the birth of the game, and Canada is where the game grew up in the western, with the western farmers in the prairies, and it grew. And
well, I guess you can compare it to the resentment Canadians felt when the Soviets took over hockey. That
exactly,
hockey was our
same
game.
Thing. Perfect, yeah. Exactly perfect. And all the European teams love to beat the Canadians, but this team in particular loves to beat the Canadians. Not, I don't mean David as such, but the Scots.
And as you say, they've been frustrated for so many years, back to 1967, since they've won one. Well, here is their skipper, David Smith, putting his full on the four, right on the button. Martin, a quick tap down the ice. No danger watching Kevin Martin. The clock's going to run out on him. He does not linger long over decisions. He's just 24 years of age. Really came out of nowhere to win the Brier. I love one of his quotes in Hamilton when one of the reporters, I think Steve Milton of the Hamilton Spectator, asked him, is there a lot of pressure representing Alberta? He says, no. He says, the pressure is when the other team sees I'm from Alberta.
That's a great line.
Some truth in that.
Whoa.
The pressure's all on the opponent.
All right.
It stays in just about the same spot. Well, they want to ban the brush now. So two armed camps almost forming up over the issue of corn brooms and brushes and who's right and who's wrong. Curling, of course, traditionally has been the gentlemanly game, ladylike game, the only sport where you shake hands before and shake hands after. But I guess that all changed about 10 years ago when one skip punched the other out in the parking lot of a curling club in Windsor. Now we have the broom controversy.
I guess those things have happened, but you don't see that stuff very often.
No.
It's still a game of, you know, there's the unwritten rules and the wonderful things about the sport where
it is a marvelous game, one that you really have to play in most sports to fully appreciate. Of course, I played and it wasn't appreciated.
I've seen you play, Chef. And I know why you weren't appreciated.
So Martin will test the ice on the right-hand side as we look at it with a blank attempt. He'll carry on with the last rock advantage into the second end, and I suspect we may see a great deal of this today.
All
The chance for the multi-point end is lost here, so he blanks the first. No score after 1, scheduled for 10. Back with more from the World Curling Championships in Winnipeg after this. Don Chevrier, along with Ray Turnbull, Tracy Wilson, Rod Black, back with you at the Winnipeg Arena. About 12,000 strong here, looking in on the second half of this World Curling doubleheader. No score after 1. Let's bring you up to date in N2.
Well, Scotland put the first stone out in front, and Kevin peeled it off. Scotland put the next one out in front again, and Kevin plays the hit and roll to the corner.
Then a moment ago, the first mistake of the game. Bartlett with a nose hit, leaving a rock in play, and now Scotland goes to work.
Well, Kevin actually wanted that rock there, Don. He called that corner. He wanted to hit off the center line and roll to the corner, and that's what he got. So the Scotland, as opposed to peeling it off, has decided to go in behind it. Now, there's a couple ways of defending against the corner guards. You can peel them off, of course, or you can go in first, or you can throw up your own center line guard. Scotland decided to go around it, and that's the red stone that comes up short, so it gives Kevin Martin a terrific chance of going in behind the corner guard.
How's that weight?
Hey, a lot of room.
Weight's close.
Clean. Yep.
Light. We're light.
Stan Petrick.
We might mention, Don, that Kevin Martin has last rock in this end because he went through the round robin undefeated. There was no flip of the coin. Straight line.
Good-looking stone.
Yes, sir. Game is on.
Dan Petrick. Known as the hit man. They can rename him the draw man after that.
Well, a terrific shot. And look at the movement. I mean, it really walked around there. David Smith's call to the face of it.
I'm a little surprised that Kevin Martin did this early, just in the second end, early in the end.
Well, yeah, he came from Alberta with a reputation of just being strictly a defensive player, but that wasn't true. We saw in the prior, on many occasions, first, second, third ends, and he has a great sense of timing, which you're seeing right now. I mean, he said, let's go. He got the hit and roll to the corner. David Smith chose not to take it off. He got the great sink, and now the Scots are trying to freeze to the face of this.
It does curl a lot.
What a shot.
I tell you, you got the most out of that situation.
He sure did, and Scotland has shot rock, and there's the indication by Mr. Martin. Let's just play it quietly, try and get a little flip here with back 8-foot weight, and that's all you can throw if you think you're going to make this one.
Now here's Martin looking to actually catch that rock somehow on the inside, squeeze it back, and flop over in front of his own very delicately. This is Petrick again, who made a marvelous shot the first time around.
Come on.
Kerry Burtnick, the 81 Canadian champion, is doing the spotting for us today. When this corner guard play started, he got a great big glow on his face because this is the kind of game that Kerry loves to play as well. And I'm sure people like Eddie Wernick and other people at home are saying, hey, now this is curling.
Now Petrick misfires there, way over. And Smith's trying to find a way to come around, maybe just touch that. Just improve it ever so slightly to become shot rock. He can see a little bit of the stone. It's jutting out.
They do.
Coming back at 8-foot weight, Graham.
Okay, yep.
See if you can touch on it.
Okay.
Well, we don't have to say a word, Don.
35.
David told us exactly what he's trying to do.
Just that way.
Yeah.
Just set it back and have the shooter perhaps ease over to the other side of the 4-foot. But a very delicate shot. You can't overthrow it. You can't underthrow it. It'll pull over on the pile in front.
Find it in, Dave. Whoa.
Mr. Wade. Way up there. Whoa! Whoa!
Weight really is everything here.
Give it clean.
He needs the movement, but great movement in the ice surface. Should walk here.
It better start moving here.
Whoa!
Not this. Well, yeah, the end.
Shot.
Okay.
Just at the end.
I thought it would move a little more than that because Graham, he threw absolutely the perfect way.
The second shot, I mean.
They're examining which one is better. You be the judge for second shot.
Canada's second shot.
Probably mine.
Mine too.
So right.
Down normal.
Perhaps
Not going to curl much.
the extra weight made the difference. It hung right to the end.
Well, it's the weight he was asked for. It just didn't react like the other stone, that's for sure. Scotland line one and
still got
Canada is second shot. Scotland third shot. Kevin looking for the little roll.
We'll try to hit and roll in there. Watch this spot because it's going to hang, isn't it? We'll ride that line. Okay, just down normal.
This is Canada's third man, Kevin Park.
Hit and roll.
Line's good. Clean.
Clean.
Hurry. Wow! Off. Come on.
How much will he have of this? Not enough to hold it. It's gone. So the situation still remains positive here for some scoring in this end. Let's go to Tracy.
Contingent here today, and Doug, you're from Perth.
As you can hear, Tracy's got some microphone problems we'll attend to as soon as possible.
Well, this is a key shot, as David's indicating. He took a look at it. I think that Scotland is shot rock. Canada is shot rock there, I think.
It's very close, though.
So he'll come down to it.
Here's Graham Connell. His second shot of the second end.
Let's watch this one closely as it comes to the center line. Graham's got a little more weight than he had last time.
He's got a lot of curling to do.
He's going to make a move, but not that much. Not with that weight, I don't think. Didn't have a lot more than last time, but they're just not getting the action out of the stone.
He's back at the 12. We said earlier, weight is so critical when you make shots like this.
There's a look at it from the top. It's pretty close.
It really is. I wouldn't want to call it.
What about this?
I think the Yellowstone is shot. I'll go out on a limb here, but
Yeah, okay.
maybe we could make a little wager, Don.
Well, having
Your
this
eyes
angle, I wouldn't want to bet against the yellow one now. It looks like it may have it by
Oh, hey.
just a tad.
Oh, sure.
Well, Martin wants to make sure. It's about the fourth look he's had at it, but he's satisfied. He'll draw to the other side. That's good enough for me. Old Hawkeye sitting to my right.
Old is right.
Oh, yeah. It's only in the double, whatever you do. 13 and a half.
Kevin Park, as did Jody Sutton. Kevin Park.
T-line.
Yep, T-line.
All this team played sensational. Kevin Park played some great games here. The game that Scotland played Canada's round robin was absolutely a classic.
Ooh, they got to work on this. Nope. Park just a little bit light.
That's what the game was all about. Look at the rocks in play.
You watched him move that guard, though. Yeah. Touch it. If you roll under that one. Not sure, but I think that's a good shot.
It was a tough week. Not so much for Canada. Romping through at 9-0. Tough semifinal, though, to hold off Norway. The Norwegian nightmare is behind Kevin Martin. Julie Sutton found hers today, losing the women's world final to Norway. Scotland 7-2. Decent round robin. Had a tough win over the U.S. 4-2 in yesterday's semifinal game. And here they are. Memories of their midweek controversial matchup still fresh in everybody's minds, playing for all there is to win at the World Championship.
Yeah, yeah.
Both these teams have tremendous ability to protect their leads, so we're seeing a very... We'll try and listen to David.
Dump another one in there. Try and get Ronan for first shot there.
So he thinks
Put
John...
6 in there. A wee bit later and we can sweep it.
He's in doubt. All he has to do is touch his a little bit to make sure it is shot, Rock.
Yeah, I think he feels though that Canada is shot. You heard him refer to that.
Well, they've had about 4 cracks at this. You get the feeling that one of these times they're going to get the shot they're after.
People think that David Smith could just hit. Well, he won a couple of Bonspills in Europe this year under the new rules, under the free guard zone rule, and he can play this game as well as anybody.
This one's coming over in a hurry. He's making quite a move.
Line is terrific. The line is terrific.
He'll like this, I think.
Yes, sir.
He's got shot now.
And maybe second shot as well.
Perhaps.
Kevin's thinking of the potential double, but he hasn't got much room.
Try to get her in the nose, eh?
Got to hit it on the nose.
The fourth
right.
zone isn't going anywhere if you hit it on the nose, is it? Or is it?
It might go out that way.
Okay.
Try to get maybe that roll in bad.
Yeah.
Gotta get rid of these ones, I know.
He hasn't got a lot of room, as you can see, with that yellow guard out in front to do what he's talking about. Hit it on the nose.
He could possibly get rid of all 4 of those stones. He could hit that rock just on the outside.
Normal, just off the nose, I think.
Just on the nose almost. He hits it here, this stone goes here, this stone goes here, this stone goes here, and it may come off of this and catch that one.
It'll have to be a Roger Clemens style fastball.
Hit! Quick! Hard! Hard! Quick! Hurry! Come on!
Ooh, that's by, and what a shot.
All 4
You call it, Ray. You won't see a better curling shot than that. My goodness. Just by.
Just by is right, and look at this. Here's the action we talked about, 1, 2, 3, and now the back one. There it goes, in position to sweep it, and he's lying 2.
Spinorama on the ice of the Winnipeg Arena.
And let's not forget that Kevin Martin has last rock in this end. He's lying 2.
That is an enormous shot.
What a way to start.
Clear the guard by a bunch.
What do you do? What do you do now? Well, I made my shot.
Well, he may just take the heart right out of David Smith with a shot like that.
Now this is where the good teams come back, as you know.
Hit it on the nose, didn't it?
It's the hit, roll in
Catch
behind.
it right, you could hit it and check on the 4 foot.
Leave the nose hit on me and hit it.
Comes off this right, he can come across, hit the back of the stone, the other yellow stone at the 1 o'clock position, and maybe squeeze to the 4 foot, you heard him say. David Smith needs a big shot here.
He's running it. Looking for a favorable roll. He's made a comeback shot of his own.
Here.
Now that is a tough double, I tell you.
That is a great double, is what it is. You think these people aren't excited?
Tit for tat they go. First Martin, now Smith.
Great shot, David Smith. Look at this here. A good call, too, by Graham McConnell. Graham McConnell, not Graham McConnell.
How this end is
It should be
changed.
McConnell.
You know,
Right.
well, no.
So after all that, we have the probability of a blank end. I wouldn't have believed it 2 or 3 rocks
Isn't
ago.
that something?
Clean.
Isn't that an end of curling? That's entertainment.
And there's the
Watch-
blank. You won't see many like that. And number 2 will long be remembered here. It produces nothing on the scoreboard but a lot of great curling memories. No score after 2. Back with you from Winnipeg on CTV in a moment. Well, we have all sorts of fans here. This game has not gone to the dogs, I can assure you. It was a marvelous second end. And now it looks like it'll be a great third end because Kevin Martin has opened things up in terms of some scoring possibilities. 2 rocks are out in front now.
Well, we had an interesting end. David Smith threw the first rock. That was the rock sitting at the back of the 4-foot. And Kevin Martin ignored it completely and threw up the corner guard. And that's the rock sitting out in front of the rings, protecting the 8-foot. And David Smith played the guard on the shot rock. And you just saw the hit and drive through.
Over the 4 feet, over the 8.
But a bit of a jam, so David Smith is going around. He does not have last rock. And we've got lots of rocks in play again. So both teams obviously are here to entertain.
It's plenty.
Plenty room.
Plenty.
For weight.
Plenty, guys.
Yep.
Line only.
Okay, easy.
Whoa.
Easy.
Use the cord now.
Coming now. Easy.
Up now. Up.
Rock settling in nicely. Will find the top of the 12. No, it's a little bit short.
Went the wrong way. To their feet.
3 in play out in front. Martin moves to remove this one. And from Niagara Falls to British Columbia and points in the Atlantic province as the fans come.
3/4.
And Kevin's wife holding up the sign, supporting both Kevin, of course, and his groom, Shauna.
Shauna and Linda, Kevin Park's wife.
From Edmonton. 25-year-old Dan Patrick.
Playing the hit, big weight, squeezes into the rings. What a good shot.
Another circus shot. It's second shot, but it's going to change things for Smith if he wants to remove it, I'll tell you.
Big weight, he hits it on the center line side. You'll see in a moment as it comes into view, and he catches the back of the front stone, which squirts it into the rings. Kevin Martin in position to sweep it. David Smith as well, of course. Scotland still shot rock on the 8-foot at the 7 o'clock position. David Smith coming around the corner line guards.
Easy.
You may not see as many rocks move in 15 minutes in a landslide as we have here.
Easy.
Drawing for 2.
Over the 8.
No.
Now,
come on, clean.
Whoop,
Clean.
whoop, whoop.
Off.
Whoop, leave the angle. Up.
I might mention here that David Hay and the boys from Scotland have gone to the bigger brushes. They were using smaller brushes in the week, but they've gone to the big 14-inch head brush, or especially David Hay, and that was done solely to protect against the corn. Don, we'll get a look at David Hay's brush in a moment.
I mean, it's able to remove more debris. Is that the idea?
It's a bigger brush head.
Bigger surface.
Dan Petrick.
Off. Right up. Roll it.
Not much of a roll there. Stays top of the 4-foot. His first and third shot now. Well, this Alberta team came out of, well, not nowhere, but they were not highly regarded. They were not picked to win the Labatt Brier when they arrived in Hamilton. The turning point for them is when they took on Russ Howard, the team that was favored to win. He was 3-0. They beat Howard. Howard went on to lose his next 4, virtually knocked him out of the race, and Alberta sailed on to win it all on the final day.
David Smith has to be careful here not to, he'd like to get a little bit of a roll, but he has to be careful not to jam it back onto his own stone, the stone sitting in the 8-foot. Key here is to try and lie 2. He must be careful.
Yeah, the more rocks in play, the more things can go wrong.
Hang it.
Give it, please. Whoop. Whoa.
Heard him say it's hanging, they want it to curl.
It goes and roll the other way.
Scotland lying 2.
I don't think you need much more than boards.
No, I don't want to throw any more than boards.
Okay. Let's go to the intern, though, huh?
Okay.
Even knows
You see Kevin playing the hit and the roll, trying to roll it into here, and watch out, he could maybe catch that on the way by.
Board weight.
So far, Park just 44%. Connell a little bit better at 63. Tough start for the 2/3. But not for the Skips. They've been sensational.
Clean.
Whoa, whoa.
Hip.
Roll it, Donnie, roll it, roll it.
Oh, yeah.
Good shot. Just punches it back and sets the top of the 8-foot. Second shot. Well, Julie Sutton's team a little happier now, accepting their tough loss to Norway.
Well, they're just here cheering on the boys. They obviously won't forget this for a long time, but you just have to, you know, button up the jacket and think a little bit about the future and have a nice day at the beautiful closing banquet tonight.
Yeah, at least their spirits seem higher for the moment.
There's the call by David Smith. Once again, he has to be very careful not to drive it back onto his own. He'd like a little roll, but now if he hits us on the nose, he will not be shot second shot rock.
Clean.
Needs a little roll, but he has to watch the back one.
Okay, Graham.
Pretty precise curling.
Third shot.
It's third shot now, and it allows Kevin Martin to hit this and to line 2 with Kevin Park's last stone.
Down normal and in turn here? You want to go out turn? Okay.
Doesn't matter what turn.
Okay, let's
Wait.
go down normal.
What did I just throw?
Oh, boards?
Yeah.
Go down normal. Yeah.
Wondering who he's cheering for, Don.
He'll stay here nice.
Let me see. Are the Lions playing tonight?
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Too bad.
How weight do you want?
That's my son. He's got
Down
flags growing out of his ears.
Give me the intern then.
Sandy Lake.
Okay.
Just saved on a phone call there from the Easter Bunny, friend. Happy Easter to everybody watching across the CTV network this afternoon. You're getting some outstanding curling in this men's final. In case you missed it earlier, 26-year-old Doherty Nordby of Norway edged Julie Sutton in an extra end 4-3 for the women's crowd. Gets it on the inside and rolls back into 12.
It's rolled a little too much, though. It's third shot rock, the shot rock being the rock sitting behind the 2 long yellow guards. Half of the 12 and half of the 8-foot at 330. Second shot being the Scottish stone sitting up on top. The 12 o'clock position just biting, there it is, just biting the top of the 8-foot. So they're going to try and punch this back a little bit.
Yeah. I think tight ice coming around the yellow.
Canada has retained last rock
A
in
couple
the
of things you
third.
can do here. You come down hitting this here, punching it back into this area here. You might even roll the shooter in so he could be lying 2. You can't get at the shot rock, which sits half in the 8 and half in the 12.
I've learned to scoff at no possibilities. Everything is possible here, what we've seen.
We need a wee bit there.
Yep.
What?
Lots of options here. You can push it straight back. You can just catch it on the outside.
Whoa.
Whoa!
See, whoa. Whoa.
Right in!
Whoa.
Whoa!
Just by. Back of the 4.
Well, that was the 4th option. He actually played Don to chip it and roll it, to punch it back and to roll it, to split it.
Yep.
But he just got by it. Scotland being shot rock at the back of the 4-foot at 6 o'clock.
Now Martin's looking at a fairly long double raise takeout to maybe line 3. Not not much ice and big weight.
That's what he wants, exactly, Don. To hit this one here, back on, catch this one. That way you could lie 3. One and just missed the back one.
Rolls over to the edge of the 12. 4th shot.
Well, this is a big decision for David Smith. He's got it. This is a case, I think, where second shot rock is your best guard.
Guard. The guard. The guard has to be.
Well, there's a couple of things you can do here. I think he mentioned the guard, which is I'm a little surprised at. He first talked about going behind the corners, which I think is a safer way. He can come in here to lie 2, holding Canada to 1. He could also, if he wanted to come down and sit on that would be a very safe way of holding them to the single point. You could play, if you wanted, the guard. I don't think he'll do that.
What about a little tighter, say top of the 8th? But I guess
No, then you leave the save double.
Double again.
With that ice.
There's 9 going these yellows now.
I'm wondering about the ice.
9 going these yellows.
Unless it's a long guard.
Try and listen to him. I think this is one of those cases where second shot rock might be your best guard.
I would agree.
Clean.
So what you would do then is make him take 1 point after 2 blank ends. That's as well as you can do.
Keep it clean.
Without stealing.
Clean. Easy. Yeah! Hurry! Hurry! Quick! Hurry! Come on! Hurry! Hurry!
Now he's going to play the guard.
Quick! Hurry! Hurry!
And how much has he left?
No,
Well, he can get around that all right.
I think there's a hole there, and it would be a big shot, but it would be for 4 points.
Aha. The other way, through the port. Wouldn't this be something?
I'm just a little surprised in the call by David. I don't think it was a percentage call. I think he could draw to lie 2 and take the end right away from Canada.
Yeah, I'm with you. Make him take the 1 and frustrate him a little bit and take last rock into the 4th yourself. But now, potentially, if Martin makes this, he is in a world of trouble.
Well, especially against a team that can feel so well.
There's a little more than the width of a rock, the size of the port.
Big. On a row. Big.
Well, it's way
Worth
out
a try. It's only going to cost him 1 if he doesn't make it.
Way out there.
Starting to move. It's not moving.
It's got a curl for him.
Kick.
And it will not.
Okay.
So Smith will take 1. A steal of 1 after 2 blank ends by Canada as Martin goes gambling for big points in end number 3. A remarkable match so far. Signs of being a great world curling final. It'll continue into a 4th end in just a moment from Winnipeg. Stealing a point in a somewhat unorthodox 3rd end after 2 blanks by Canada and a spectacular 2nd end executed by Kevin Martin. It's been a remarkable final, and they may not have to put in that new no guard rule of freeze the guards next year, because if you look at the recap of this end, they're putting rocks in play.
Well, Scotland threw the first one to the top 12-foot. Canada ignored it, threw up the corner guard. That was the yellow stone we looked at. Scotland went to go around it. That's a stone that sits long back at the 12-foot at 6 o'clock. And Canada is now playing the front one, looking for the run back. There's one.
That'll stick.
No, sir. But the exchange of color on the stone out in front is good. It's Canada now has a shot right on the center line out in front. You know, I questioned David Smith's call on the last end for sure. I don't think it was the percentage shot to play, but I do applaud him in the way he's playing. I mean, they say that David Smith just plays the hit game. Well, he hasn't even looked at the hit game.
Oh, he's made some nice draws.
Came up with a great double when he needed it.
I mean, the sure way would have been the way you suggested, to make sure of second shot, keep him to only one. He got a big break by stealing the end, as it turned out.
Well, Kevin Martin had a shot for 4, Don. It was a tough one, but... And now the good come around.
Into the 8, line 2. The problem with Martin's attempt for 4, was that was uncharted waters out there. That was a new shot for him, and they weren't quite sure without Wade how it might react. Hit Hunt, caught the guard, and Smith stole the point. We're in the 4th end now, 1-0 Scotland.
Well, lots of rocks in play. Another good come around by Scotland. So Dan Petrick.
Hard! Right up! Hard! Come on! Whoa!
This one is coming over, but Haynes to make contact. And it's second shot over on the left. Let's go to Tracy Wilson now. Tracy?
Steve Brown and his American team just missed making the finals. They got beaten by Scotland. Steve, what has Scotland got to do to win against this tough Canadian team?
Well, I tell you, both those teams are very similar in style and approach, and I really don't think you can force it. You can't try and gamble, because when you start, it's always easy to say, hey, you got to force the issue and you got to gamble a little bit, but when you do that, you end up throwing a shot that you got about a 40% chance of making instead of a 70%. So I think both teams, it's going to be a great shot that wins the game. Kevin pulled off, the big triple early in the game. David countered with a double of his own, and I think that's how you're going to win this game. It's just one of those two guys is going to make a great shot and it's going to win it. But if you go fishing, go gambling, then you're going to find yourself behind by a couple and you can't come back against a field team like that.
Okay, thanks, Steve. We look forward to seeing you curling again next year at the World Championships. Don?
All right, Tracy, thank you. Looks like Kevin's going for another raised takeout attempt here.
Well, I kind of find Stevie's comments interesting because he kind of contradicted himself, I think, Don, because he said that you had to maybe not take any chances and not gamble. But we've seen both these teams just do just that, gamble in this game all the way, and just make some big shots to get themselves out of it. Here's another situation where we're looking for a run back.
Here you go, got it. Makes the raised takeout, missing the one of the back. I had to do a double take to make sure the same teams were on the ice after the first end. Two completely different games since end one.
Well, both teams have just played absolutely thrown caution to the wind in this game, and that's why you've got 12,000 people sitting on the edge of their seats. I mean, these people are knowledgeable curling fans. They've come here to watch this game, and they've just been absolutely delighted in what they're seeing. What a contrast into what we saw earlier in the day. And I'm not putting the knock on the ladies, but you're seeing offense at its very best right here.
We saw some very brilliant moments in that match too, but here they are really taking to the offensive early. And the fans here loving it, as we hope you are, across the country this Easter Sunday afternoon.
Wouldn't the wrench love to be here?
Yeah. Snapping in a hurry. He's got the inside of it, rolls over and hangs her out of line 2. Scotland line 2, and Martin looks like he'll ignore and go right to the draw. He's determined to get at least a couple back here with last rock, having Scotland steal the third on him.
Well, Stevie Brown, if you're playing conservative, you'd be hitting this and looking for the roll, but no, sir. Over into there, no, sir. Kevin Martin is going right in behind this corner guard.
How deep, Ray?
He wanted in top of the 8-foot, top of the 4-foot behind the corner guard, in front of the tee line. Don.
There, line's tight. Hurry! Hard for line. All over the guard. Come on.
Kevin Parks' shot.
Right there. Hurry! Hard.
They get it by, it'll be a dandy. But they don't.
Right back.
He picks up what he can off the shooter rolling over into the edge of the 8-foot. Or shot.
He gets a little chip, and he is shot rock.
Wide open.
terrific.
Nice straight. Should be pretty straight here.
This makes the job easy, Don.
Graham Connell in the hack, waiting the ice to be given. Directions from skip David Smith, 27-year-old from Perth, Scotland. Well, on the inside, a good-looking roll. Kind of digs in and stops in a hurry at the edge of the forefoot. Now, Martin indicates the hit from Park in the inside roll if he can get it.
Right there.
Here's another look at a good call by David Smith holding the brush and in good position. Notice the position that both the curlers are in to be able to brush it. It just doesn't roll quite enough, but a good shot by Graham Connell. Now a chance for Kevin Park to come down and hit this stone right here and roll right into that area right there.
That's what he's after with the out turn. Kevin Park, who's in the restaurant business, 26 years of age.
Yep. Sweet.
Hurry. Whoa, whoa. Stay close.
No, don't touch.
Oh, not coming yet.
It's hanging.
The other way?
Oh, no.
He wanted the inside roll, but it'll be just about on the nose. A little bit to the right.
What a contrast to the final we watched last year in Vesteros when Eddie Werding was playing the same David Smith. And Eddie kind of surprised us all because we expected David Smith to run up and down the sheet, and that's exactly what he did, but Eddie ran with him. He picked up an extra point in the sixth end to get a deuce to take control, and then just ran David out of rocks. David, his approach to the game has changed a little bit. He's proven to everyone that he can play any style. He lived with the hit through the 86 World and also last year, but now he mixes his game up well, so that's what's generating all this offensive play.
David Smith's first rock of N4, leading by 1. Last rock advantage belongs to Canada.
Looking for the hit and roll as well.
Right on the rock with a broom.
Contrast of style. This is what we refer to as the tuck delivery.
Yep. What? Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
That's snapping over.
He turned that one. I think he got it started, but
Shot, Dave.
Worked out pretty well for him.
Sure did. He rolls over in behind the Canada guard over on the left.
We'll just take a look as he throws it. He was inside right away, whether he rolls it over or gets it started.
Martin 80%, Smith's out curled him at 88. But Martin has made the spectacular shots of the day.
You're 14 today?
Kevin's wife watching anxiously.
We're there, just for line.
Out turn draw, out turn come around.
Yep. Hard for line.
His first rock of the end.
Where's the weight? Hurry for line.
Hard for line.
Quick. Come on.
Now, makes contact with the guard. Improves the blockage of the Scotland stone.
Well, the bad thing about that shot, Don, is that the shooter rolled to the center line.
Yes.
All of a sudden now it's going to be very difficult for Kevin Martin to get in.
Interesting possibilities for David Smith here at his last shot, again trying to steal another end.
Try and listen.
Come in there. No.
Decisions.
I think so, yep. Sharp's good there.
Took a look at blocking the intern or coming to the intern.
Here, though, Graham. So
Would you dare try that draw between the yellow rocks with the intern?
Well, he took a look at that, but I think he's going to try and come with the out turn, and if he gets it to the top of the forefoot, you know, he'll be in good shape.
Safer of the two, certainly.
The key here is, Chev, you can't block everything and block what you think is the most difficult. He looked at coming here and coming this way, but I think he's made the right choice. He's going to come and try and sit right in this area here. If he gets it in the right spot, then he can make Kevin Martin's draw very difficult.
He's going to get through the hole. Through his internet way the last time.
Smith, after the
27, Dave, we'll get there.
takeout attempt, has to come back with a draw.
That's why they're the best in the world, these people. That's why they're here.
That clock shows the time he has remaining in the game. 75 minutes overall. We're in the fourth end. He's got some time left.
Clean it in. Clean. 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 Come on. Yep. Come on. Yep. All right.
Starts to curl about here. They've got to get it by. There it is. He's got to dig in for him now. Right there on the tee line.
Well, they had to brush it to get it by, Don, and that's it went a little too deep because it allows Kevin Martin to follow it down. If you take that stone and move it back about 2 feet, boy, Kevin Martin is in real trouble. He's in trouble as it is, but he can hold the end to 1 point by getting to the 8 foot, and if he makes the good move, he can get right to the button. And to win these kind of games, you have to make these kind of shots. If you can't draw, they say you can't skip.
Yeah, if he's at the top of the four, he's sitting pretty. The rock is sticking out so that Martin can see a good 3/4 of it.
Wow, wow.
And he's just seen Smith show him the way.
Hard.
No, sir.
They'll go for the alternate if they can.
This can really hurt. He may have cut him out of one, but it's two for sure. Kevin Martin having his final shot pull over, wrecking on the guard, and Scotland steals 2 more. So the man who has made the spectacular shots today nonetheless has dug himself into a hole. Scotland ahead by 3 after 4 at the Worlds in Winnipeg. Stay with us. And a steal of 2 back-to-back. 3-0 Scotland playing the 5th end. Surprising developments here in this World Curling Final, Ray.
Well, we saw, 4 very interesting ends. The first end was a little up and down, but then the second, third, and fourth were really interesting. Kevin Martin had to make that draw. He got it started, I guess, because it just reacted immediately and curled too much. Now he's in a position that he's put a lot of other teams in the past. He's playing against a very, very good hitting team in David Smith and the boys from Scotland. And David now will try and take this 3-point lead and walk it home. And you're going to see a lot of...
we have the evidence.
A lot of peeling shots. There's some corn. Kevin will do a little bit more sweeping himself to try and get a little bit of action into the ice. But the Scots will take their time and keep an eye on the clock, mind you. They're going to have to keep an eye on the clock. They're a good 4 minutes behind the Canadians.
It's going to take too much time. Scotland opened the 5th end by throwing the lead rock through.
For those of you that are sitting at home and asking yourself, well, what happens if he runs out of time? If he runs out of time, he loses the game.
You can't throw the rest of your rocks. Well, the most interested spectator is a gentleman named Chuck Hay, a legend in world curling. Tracy Wilson's with him now.
The only time that Scotland has won a world championship was in 1967, and of course the skip was Chuck Hay, and you know the inner workings of the Scottish team because your son David is the lead. Your thoughts on the broom controversy?
Well, it's a difficult situation. I don't think it's any part of the game. It's a pity it happened. And I'd like to see some, I think the new rule now is you got to play the brush or the broom, and that helps to clear it up a great deal. The game's about playing good shots. It's about drawing and hitting and wicking and rolling into position, not about junking the ice up and taking a chance. That I don't think is any part of the game.
Looking really good for your boys. You think they got a good shot now?
Well, it's good at the moment, but there's a long way to go, and they're up against a very good team. Anything can happen. If there's in this situation one end to go, I would be kind of happy.
Okay, thanks, Chuck. Don?
Okay, Tracy. Chuck hasn't missed, I don't think, any world championships.
Not very many. Of course, he was the ICF's head umpire for a number of years, and Chuck and I did a lot of umpiring in the Euroworlds, the World Junior Championships, and the Silver Brooms, and then the World Championships after that. So he's a world champion. In 1967, he won the World Championship in his home country. So
a man endowed with an abundance of class.
Yes, absolutely. He and his wife Nora are fabulous people. I've had the opportunity to spend a lot of time in their home. Got great sons and great critters. Graham and Sandy and Michael and David here playing lead. Michael's here as the fifth man.
Nothing in play. Midway in this is the fifth inning. Shocker, Scotland marching to a 3-0 lead, fashioned on back-to-back steals.
Well, David Smith plays the Peeling game every bit as well as Kevin Martin. And we saw through the Brier, let's think back a little bit to the Jeff Stoughton game where Martin got 2 in the first end on Jeff Stoughton and then ran those 2 right through to the 10. But Kevin Martin is playing a team right now that can do that every bit as well as he can.
And the lesson to be learned there is get the lead early. And that's what Scotland's done to be able to turn it around and play their hitting Peel game.
Yeah, you have to give David Smith some credit for sure. He came out thinking no offense, and the simple fact that he played a guard on a shot that we think he should have gone to Lai's second shot and forced Canada to take one illustrates how he was thinking.
If Martin makes that shot, you're looking at a far different situation. Could have scored 4. Well, most fans in our CTV poll agree that you should be allowed to change brooms in the middle of the game by quite a wide margin. I would be in the no category.
Well, I think changing it. I'm kind of caught in the middle a little bit, but I think that you should certainly be able to use whatever you choose. I don't know about changing the middle of the game.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's right or not.
Use it and stick with it.
Yeah. Kevin Martin has always swept with the broom. That's not his situation. He's always swept with the broom.
But if you never change, your motives will never be suspect.
That's right. He's
or
always
likely to be.
swept with this. It's just that
yet the fans here don't take that position.
Well, there isn't any question that a little bit of pulp on the ice or corn pulp on the ice can generate. It's not like the hair from a brush. It doesn't stop the stone. It makes it react with a little bit more curl as it gathers on the running surface. And so there isn't any question that you get more curl in the ice surface when you have some corn out there. But I think you should have to make a decision whether you're going to use the corn broom or not.
Come on.
Well,
come on.
Until you change the rules to ban sweeping altogether, you're going to have some kind of broom controversy.
Then I can make a comeback, you mean?
I'd be able to play just fine.
And the guard, Kevin Martin, needs desperately a nose hit. He needs Scots to hit something on the nose and stay in play so he can get around.
Well, toughest opponent over the years, World Championships for Scotland, Canada. 6-25. They have not fared well in round-robin play against the Canadians, but they've got a leg up today, leading 3-0 in the 5th end of the final. In Calgary's McMahon Stadium, they use horses. Here, human power propels the flag around the Winnipeg Arena.
Well, Julie Sutton and the girls who have just lost are really out there now trying to cheer the Canadian boys on. And
Smith just keeps on appealing.
David Smith saying, you want to see how to peel, Mr. Martin? I'll show you how to peel stones. Terry and Julie whipping this crowd up.
Curling must be the only sport in the world where the participants become cheerleaders.
Absolutely. We're Canadians.
Martin's first of 2 in the 5th end.
They're trying to hang this on the 12-foot on the edge.
Crowd still cheering as the flags make their way around this huge arena. Rock just back of the tee line, straddling the 8-foot belonging to Canada.
Yep.
Scott's clearing a path for the shot from...
That's the big head I was talking about, Don. You can see the brushes are the 14-inch heads, the larger heads, and they just started using them to defend against what pulp or corn there may be on the ice.
So the push brush has become a defensive weapon.
They don't soar through the air quite as well as the brooms used to.
It's the Patriot brush against the Scud corn broom. Right on the tee line is the shot by Scotland.
Well, Kevin will try and blank this and maintain the hammer to try and get something going next end. But we're going to see some peeling.
What we saw at ends 2, 3, and 4, most appealing in the way of curling shots. Now the Scots with their lead, rightly so. This is the right call. It may not be exciting, but clear everything away and play a defensive game and hold that lead.
Unappealing.
It is. He'll get his blank. Nobody could really foresee that Kevin Martin would be held scoreless at the halfway mark of this World Curling Final, but that is what has happened here. A steal of 1, a steal of 2 for Scotland, and after 5, David Smith leads Kevin Martin of Canada 3-0. We'll be back after this.
I now declare the 1991 Canada Safeway World Curling Championships open to the curlers. I say good luck and good curling.
This week, Winnipeg is...
Team talking strategy. They trail Scotland 3-0 right now. We might see some more corn, perhaps, on the ice as they clean up the ice right now. You can see the debris left over from Kevin Martin's broom right there. Perhaps David Smith thinking about a way to counter that. Right now, David Smith will be playing very defensively as he heads down the final 5 here at the Winnipeg Arena. Now, let's go downstairs to Tracy Wilson. She's standing by. Tracy, what's up?
In 1972 and 1982, the World Curling Championships were in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, West Germany. Well, next year is 1992, and we're going back. Peter, your theme next year for the World Championship is going to be Welcome Back to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. This is your 3rd World Championships. You must be pros at it by now.
Well, we've had it in 72, 82, and we're going to have it in 92, and we have had big crowds out of Canada and North America, and we just want to learn here in Winnipeg. We want to see what's going on to improve our offer, the offer we had before. Garmisch will be in spring at that time when it takes place. We will have snow-covered mountains, we'll have warm temperatures in the valley, and I think we'll have some outstanding beers, some umtatas, and we'll have a lot of entertainment for our guests.
CTV will be in Garmisch-Partenkirchen next year for the finals of the men's and the ladies. Rod?
Well, Tracy, it's going to be awfully tough for Garmisch-Partenkirchen to equal what the Winnipeg committee has done here at the World Curling Championships. Some 1,800 volunteers throughout this week. It has been tremendous as far as they are concerned, and as far as the curling has been concerned, it has been tremendous too. Let's talk baseball for a moment, though, shall we? Right now, spring training continues as the boys of summer gear up for the opening day, which begins next week. We'll have the Jays and the Red Sox live on CTV next Monday, April the 8th, from Sky Dome against the Boston Red Sox, and the Blue Jays losing today to the Philadelphia Phillies by a score of 7-3. Their record 8-16, and right now the Expos and the Dodgers are playing. Also right now the score, the Dodgers leading the Expos by a score of 3-1. Now up next it's the sixth end, and Chevy and Ray are getting ready as the fans settle back in their seats for the World Curling Championship and the men's final.
We couldn't call ourselves experts if we didn't have the superb fitting Reebok pump.
You can go as far as your heart can see, beyond any road that you want to be, 'cause it's your day.
The baby in this picture is going to have a very special year. A year of first steps, first words, first birthday. And none of these firsts will ever happen again. Now, if you were this baby's parents, which film would you choose? No other film in the world gives you purer, richer colors than Kodacolor Gold film. Aren't your pictures worth gold?
According to the economic pundits, the market is warming to a new way of keeping up with both the Joneses and the Dows.
We couldn't call ourselves experts if we didn't have Nike Air.
You'll love the body, nature. You'll love the volume. You'll love the energy.
Matrix has a free gift for you. A 4-ounce shampoo is yours free with service at your participating Matrix salon.
You'll love the look. It's Matrix.
We are back live at the Winnipeg Arena. Gentlemen, Scotland leading Canada 3-0 in the sixth end, and Ray and Don, they have brought out the brooms.
Yeah, they have brought out new weapons, and here again, this is controversy being rekindled, I suppose, Ray.
Well,
midway in a match, changing equipment.
That's right. I kind of feel that that's not correct. I think that what you started with, you should finish with, and because there's one more corn broom on the ice, and they're obviously just an attempt to get some straw out there.
Well, it is pretty blatant. I mean, they're making no secret of it. They're entitled to do it within the rules. The Scots can't be happy with this. And already, a rock digs in and dies at the hog line.
You have to throw that thing. Yeah, wait a minute.
We're in end number 6. Scotland, back-to-back steals, leads 3-0. And the Scottish Rocks continue to sail through the house. That's the pattern David Smith launched the end with, to no one's surprise.
The only thing David Smith has to do is keep an eye on the clock. You know, their time is clicking away, and when you're cleaning the ice deliberately like they do after every shot, then you have to keep an eye on, you know, big...
Takes time.
That's right. So, go ahead. Don Bartlett, lead.
Oh.
second. Boy, some strange things are happening out of that sheet. There's another one that dies at the hog line. 2 chances to put a guard in play, and they have both been hogged.
Well, it's kind of acting against them, isn't it, Don? They want the straw out there, and they can't get a rock over the hog line. I agree with you, and I think with many other curlers, that in Kevin Martin's case, he started with that broom, so he should be able to continue to use it.
Sure, make your choice pre-game, then stick with it, right. Yet the fans don't agree in the CTV poll, oddly enough.
Well, the rule is going to be changed. The Canadian rule, of course, is that you cannot change the instrument. The instrument you start with is what you finish with. The ICF rule, which is just, it's been proposed that it's going to be changed, and I'm sure it'll be passed in June, and that you will not be able to switch your instruments through the course of a game. You either make a decision at the beginning, whether it's corn or brush.
Hurry! Now there go the corn brooms in advance, and out to sweep comes Skip Martin.
There it goes again.
Yeah, grab something. Look what a straw will do to a rock. That traversed 3/4 of a sheet.
I kind of agree with, I don't kind of, I do agree with the rule that says that you shouldn't be able to switch like this, because
it doesn't add to the game.
No, as Chuck Hayes said too, it's a game of hit and roll and chap and lie and great shots. Now, I don't believe you should be able to ban the corn broom entirely, or ban the brush for that, as that sign said. But if you start with corn brooms, then you finish with them.
You don't bring them out when you're down 3-0.
Come on, right up. Go ahead, Mike.
That will roll out of play, so nothing on the ice right now. Let's go to Tracy Wilson, get more on this controversy, Trace.
I'm with the large and rather vocal Scottish contingent, and Doug has traveled all the way from Perth. What was your reaction when Kevin Martin brought out the corn broom?
Well, we've had trouble with the corn broom for years, and we accept it. We've always had trouble with the corn broom, and as long as the laws of the game allow it, then we'll accept it.
And should they be allowed to change in the middle of a game?
I don't think so. My opinion is no. No way.
Okay, enjoy your stay in Canada.
Right.
Don?
Thank you.
There goes again. You see, I think this really detracts from the game. I mean, this is very unnatural. The rock is not moving as it should. The way it was thrown, the way it was intended to finish up. It's an artificial aspect that just isn't right.
You'll get no argument from me. Kevin Martin started with the corn broom. He can use it all he wants. He should be able to finish with it. I don't agree that you should be able to switch and bring out more corn brooms just to get a pulp on the ice surface. I don't think this is going to bother this. I really don't think they're going to let it bother them. The Scots, mind you, as long as they keep peeling, nothing's going to bother them. You get a couple of nose hits and things could change, I guess.
Yeah, they've got the lead and they're curling awfully well. Well, that'll stay in play. It all began midweek in the round-robin game, and David Smith was not a happy camper that night. These were his thoughts about the round-robin.
You don't mind brooms. I don't mind corn brooms. You can handle them, but the broom he brought the other night was just the dirtiest one you could find, I think. They're quite easy to handle. A couple of brooms cleaning the whole way up. But the stuff he had the other night was just atrocious. It was filthy. It really was.
And it's safe to say it is again today here in the 6th inning.
Well, David makes a very good point. I mean, I don't know if you're pulling out a broom for for that purpose. I don't think it's right. Now, Kevin's broom, in fairness to Kevin Martin, his broom did break.
Line's good.
And he went in and got another broom, but
line's good.
That isn't the story here today.
Sure it gets here. Line's good.
Ladies hauled out the weapon.
Bend a bit. Let it go. Hold. Off. Let it go.
See how that's the one thing they disapprove of too. Sweeping into the. See how he swept into the rock.
Yep.
Facing the rock, and that slows it up. That's the one thing that in talking to Keith Windor, for example, he says that it's not the corn broom. I don't think, he says he can't believe that Kevin hasn't been criticized for that before. He's actually sweeping into the stone, so you're actually pushing the corn in under the stone to slow it up.
Right. Go for the guard. You get
I would think
you get that. It's okay.
That should be illegal.
I would agree.
Well, the game is so much sportsmanship in its history and tradition. You hate to see this kind of thing happen. Not quite, but there goes the guard. But Martin is building here for a chance for two. They can keep trading shots the rest of the way with 5 rocks left in the end.
A lot of stuff.
Of course, nothing can be taken for granted on this ice with the straws around anyway. A draw might wind up far short, grabbing something.
Just take a look at this, Don. I just want to show you. This rock looks like it might be a little heavy. And watch Kevin jump on it. Now he's facing into the stone. And you just watch right there. It takes a, it's like brakes, and it just comes to a stop and catches the top 12 foot and makes a big turn.
Give you guys the same weight. Yeah. Those are less at the start. That's all. Yeah. Same weight? Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I don't think is right, and that's what the Europeans are kind of complaining about. You heard David Smith say, you know, we don't mind the corn, but we'll defend against the corn broom, but you know, it shouldn't be able to bring it out for that sole purpose. Now they have what? They have brushes in their hands.
Switching back and forth. Martin still with the corn broom. Back with the push brooms. They'll soon be like golfers. They'll have to carry a set of sticks with them. And it does take more time. That clock is ticking away now as Scotland has to use time to clear the ice. Tracy?
Don Duguid, you're a former world champion. You've been involved in curling for years. Why the fuss over the corn broom at this competition?
Well, I think, you know, they mostly use brushes, and when a team gets down, they bring out corn to put a little debris on the ice so the ice will swing more. It's happening now right out here with Canada and Scotland. They're down 3 points, and it's obviously working because the ice is swinging a lot more. Canada's now got a chance to score 2 and get back to
But this isn't a new problem?
No, it's not a new problem. It's been done before, but you know, some say it's unethical, but I think, you know, when you're at the World Championship, you want to win.
Okay, thanks, Don. Back to you, Don.
My old partner has spoken, Donnie Duguid. But, you know, it gets back to this win-at-all-costs thinking that really prevails so much in this world.
Well, I have nothing at all. I won't say we won't talk about it any longer. There's no point.
Nothing more we can add, really.
We're whipping it to death.
Yeah.
But you know, I have nothing against the corn broom. I like it. I use it myself. But making the switch in the middle of the game, I don't think is correct. Okay, on to the game.
Back we go to what's left of end number 6 with 3 rocks remaining.
How'd you like my tie?
Nice.
You never commented on this beautiful.
I was trying to be polite, but it is Easter Sunday after all. It's full of spring colors.
My wife liked it. And after her giving me the Easter bunny and the card and me giving nothing, I wasn't about to say anything.
You give us the tie.
Quick, 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 quick.
That curled out of the end, but makes contact. Across the ice it goes. And they're lying 2.
Well, you want a boisterous crowd, you got one. 2 points would be very big here for Canada. Put them back in the game.
Now there, some of the fans booing the Scots for taking the time to clear the path going down the ice.
I think that's unfair. I really do. I don't think it's necessary to be booing these people. I think that they're only doing what they have to do to defend against something that's been put on the ice. There's lots of pulp out there now, and they're all they want, David Hay and Peter Smith, and so that their skip stones react properly. They've got this lead on skill.
Absolutely.
Kevin Martin had a chance for 4. He missed it. You know, I think David Smith gave him a chance for the 4, but
he didn't capitalize.
I'm not out there. I'm up here, so That's the bottom line. These are the best in the world, and it's easy to stand in here and talk about it and say this is wrong and this is right. But
it certainly is livened up this weekend as World Curling Final.
Boy, he sure throws that big weight well, doesn't he? Wow.
Yeah, there isn't as much margin for error when you throw that hard, but it stuck almost right on the nose. He had to have that shot. As it is, Martin gets a chance to trade, hit, and stick for a pair and get back into the game.
Well, there's a lot of rivalry, but it's I hate to hear the cheering and the booing for other things than good shot making and the game itself. So hopefully we'll get back into a pattern here.
Try to be up a little bit more.
Up a little bit more, meaning he was going to throw a little bit more weight than he threw last time.
He wastes no time. Comes right out with it. Keep it clean. Now there's the phrase of the day. That's a pair. Canada back into it. Down by a point now as the second half of the World Men's Curling Final begins. Scotland leads by a score of 3-2. Back to Winnipeg in just a moment. Of a controversial World Men's Curling Final in Winnipeg. Scotland point ahead of Canada. A couple of rocks in play already here in the seventh end.
Well, Kevin's putting them in front and Scotland's running them off. There's been a couple of nose hits. Here's how we got there. Kevin Martin, the hit for Scotland. Kevin Martin, the hit by Scotland. There it is.
Two in play, one just biting the 12-foot.
And here's where we are now.
Lead rock's gone.
You know, Don, just a little conversation during the break with, once again, with Kerry Burtnick, who's sitting beside me. He says, you know, Ray, this is one thing that, you know, and it's a great point. One thing that the new rule would change, because there'd be no advantage to going in and getting the corn brooms out, because you're going to have rocks in play. It's another reason, another plus for that particular rule change.
This rock is acting strangely. You see, that doesn't add to the game for me at all. That really detracts from it.
So that's a real plus for, you know, for the rule change, and or one plus for the rule change. And the CCA should maybe, you know, give some thought to making some changes, you know, at the Brier level as well, especially since the teams are going to have to go on and play at the world level with the new rule next year, and in the Olympics, I might add.
See, this almost backfired, almost cost them the shot. They did just barely get it across the hog line and keep it in play, but it's not anything close to what they wanted.
Got to keep these brushes. See the big head on the brush now. You got to keep these brushes on the ice surface. Keep them moving. Keep them moving.
Good line. Easy now. Hey! Up, up, up!
David Smith can't get them all off, of course, so he's...
Here goes another one.
Worked out pretty well for Scotland.
Well covered.
Scotland with last rock in this end after Martin getting two in the previous end is in a good position to put some more points on the board. You can just do some exchanging of stones.
Nice weight.
12.5. Scotland with
12.5.
Last rock in the end.
Dan Petrick.
Hey, we got a lot of room. Line's good.
Bartlett.
Line's
Kevin
good.
Park.
Clean.
Wow. This one behaving itself so far. It is second shot.
Second shot, and it's open. I think David can see as we back up into it a little bit, and he can see a corner of it.
He's looking at that. He's considering also drawing to the other side.
It's a lie too. Just ignore that stone.
By the Poopy.
Right.
Just want to be bunching his stones together. He goes back and sits on the face of this, then he just, or moves it, he puts stones together. This is a good call by David Smith.
Short and leave him a double. Big weight, 20.
Yep, keep it up, keep it up. Keep it up.
Keep it clean, keep it up.
Clean.
Yep.
Yes, you can't afford to lift those brooms.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Now the raise again.
He's got a couple more on the rings. His first, third, and fourth shot.
Well, David played over here, Don, over in this area here. He didn't really mean to get that raise. He wanted to get over here because if you come down into this area here, you're starting to bunch your stones together. He could have tried to play the little hit on that, but you are putting your stones together, and he feels that if I can pick up a deuce here, that's all I need. I've got control of this game.
Lock freeze on it.
Now you see Kevin Martin's call. I'll just...
Full 8, frozen in front of the other.
Corner freeze he's talking about, is he?
I'll give you a 13. Yeah.
Just quickly, Kevin Martin's looking for this corner freeze right in that area there. Nice to have a stone that big, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Here's Kevin Parks' shot.
We're there.
Line's good.
Room.
Hey, room.
Oh. Hey, come on. Ah.
Room and wait.
Ah. Oh. Yes. Hurry.
Go behind there. Well, they were looking for the freeze on the face of it, but plan B worked out pretty well, Mr. Chev.
Yep, pounded back of that tee line. Still available, though, to the Smith rink.
Here's a good look at it from behind. We can see that it's exposed about...
two-thirds?
Two-thirds of the stone's exposed.
Not a lot of rubber shot here. Back ring, Graham.
Back ring weight, Graham.
Snap the touch up back.
Back ring weight.
Hurry for line. Hurry! Right up! Hurry! What? Come on! Hurry!
This is really coming over.
Did you see that stop shot that it hit just come to a dead stop?
Oh, I know. It's dreadful. It's a terrible way to decide a world championship, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Nothing else. Gotta throw this. Too tight, he's got this. Right there.
Well, Kevin will play the guard. Trying to set up the steal. David's going to have some options, though. David Smith, he's got lots of rocks to come in off of.
Plenty in play.
Can I give you a 14 for a guard now? Normal weight now. Normal?
Yeah, we can just sweep it. All we have to do is sweep it.
All right, I'll give you a 14.
Kevin Parks, second rock of the end.
Right there, wait line. A little hot, maybe.
Line's
good. A lot of room.
Way out there.
Bend in. Nothing there. Nothing there. Off, you can. Can I curl a bunch? Yep. Down. Hurry!
Picked up something there.
Better bend.
Well, that one reacted pretty realistically.
He's trying to tie up his one on the back of the 4-foot. 5 rocks to go, the 7th end.
Well, David Smith looking at all the angles here. He's just going to draw, try and get a rock in position that maybe he can raise back onto that shot stone that sits in the back of the 4-foot. Playing a draw around that long guard that was just put out in front, and he's indicated I want it right to the top of the 4-foot, full in the 4-foot. Let's get it buried.
Yep, all right. Keep up. Get out of the road then.
Well, there's another one lost.
They'll let it die.
It's interesting that fans sitting in the seats, neighbors are arguing with neighbors, people they hadn't met before, seat neighbors, about this whole controversy this afternoon. No shortage of granite on sheet B in the Winnipeg Arena this afternoon. Been 2 or 3 different games wrapped into one. When they were appealing, when they were curling properly, and now with this, Martin curled 69% of the first 5 ends.
Keep it clean right to the end.
Now 75%. So Kornblum hasn't hurt him.
Line's good. A lot of room. Where's the wake? Short. Short. Line. Very hard.
Now they have to go to work on this one.
Keep the handle. Keep the handle. Come on. Get it over. Get it over. Come on.
This one grinding to a halt. Just does stagger over the hog line.
The other thing that's happened here, Don, is the ice is, pretty soft. It's not hard because there's 12,400 people in here, and the ice surface is flattening out a little bit. We are playing the 7th end of this game, and the pebbles are kind of broken down, and so things are flat, and that's what happens. Never mind the corn. It happens on a regular basis when you don't have corn. David's just saying to himself, how do I get in there?
I guess you were out there quite a bit sooner.
Said he was out there where there's more straw lying around.
Dave, get the line of the stone.
And of course the prospector out there as well.
Get off the line.
Well, the slide path is the area that runs about, from about the middle of the 8-foot on one side to the middle of the 8-foot on the other side. That's where the high percentage of your play is, and it's the area that flattens out first. The pebble breaks down.
Put his frame through there. See really light.
Try and listen to David.
First 25 you'll get in.
25.
So let more if you want. Don't do any less.
Nobody can be sure what this ice at this juncture will do, but all things being equal, if that's possible at this stage, there is room for him to curl in and make a whale of a shot here with this.
One. Plenty of room. Easy. Easy. Whoa, Dave. Whoa.
Got to wait for it to clear that front guard.
Whoa, right up. Right up.
See a bit strong? Now it snaps. Grabs the other. Throws in for shot. Pretty came out at the end, Ray.
Well, it just snapped. You're right. It was went sideways. It gives Kevin Martin a pretty good opportunity to hit and roll. Scotland lying the shot rock, line 1. Gives Kevin Martin a chance now to hit this here, to get the roll into this area here. If he does, it's going to be a very tough draw for David Smith.
got the same opening, same port, coming outside in. And some of the wives, the tension mirrored on their faces, watching every shot here.
Normal!
It hangs and then should curl out of the end. This one behaving a little bit differently. Shooter rolls away, but he still got shot rock at the back of the forefoot.
Well, he threw up big weight, and it hung out there and didn't catch anything. It almost backfired a little bit. You'll see it stays out here all the way. Just gets by the front one. Just gets by the next one. And now it almost drives it onto the shot rock. Look at this.
Didn't miss by much.
Just missed it.
You know, they're looking at something on the left-hand side of the sheet here that could really be interesting. Could, if he makes it, could give David Smith a tremendous hand here.
Sure could, and I think it's worth a try for David. I think the draw is almost impossible.
Let's have a look. Angle raise onto the shot rock, I guess, is the call, Ray.
No, I think he's going to come off it, maybe. Oh, he can play the angle raise if you can see it.
If it hangs, yeah. Got a couple of possibilities with this.
No, I think you're right, though. I think he's going to play it on the outside with that kind of weight. How much can he see? Can't hit it thin enough, so he hit it on the outside across.
He can get 3 or 4 if he makes this.
He catches it over here, pushes it onto there. It could be a big end. It's hard for me to see how much you can see the guard of him.
It'll only cost him 1 if he doesn't make it.
Maybe coming off of it. No, it's the outside shot. Yes, sir.
Ooh. Oh, he almost got a lot more than that, but he squeezes in for 1. Spectacular attempt by David Smith. Almost paid off. Big dividend. At least it didn't cost him. He has a 2-point lead now after 7 at 4-2 over Canada. A wild day of curling in Winnipeg. Stay with us.
But of course, and he almost chips the guard, gets by that. Now he gets by another guard here very closely, and then he almost hits the shot stone on the outside, which would have driven it back onto his own. Now David Smith really has an impossible draw, so he plays the outside shot, and he just about hits it perfect. He hits it a little thin, it kind of backed up on him, he gets shot rock, but if he hits that a little fuller, he gets 3 or 4.
Here's some of the volunteers watching in their lounge, some 1,600 strong, who have made this week such a gigantic success in Winnipeg, doing all manner of things to make life more comfortable for these spectators, numbering 235,000.
There's a situation right now. David Smith running off this front stone, put up by Kevin Martin.
I'm not sure Martin wanted it where it wound up. Another rock that dug in with a straw underneath it. I think he wanted to maybe come down and freeze against the rock on the house, but this is where it is, and Scotland moves to remove it.
Here's the call, corner guard on the other side. Scotland Rock sitting at the 3 o'clock position, full in the 12-foot.
No concern to Kevin Martin right now as he plays for his pair, at least to get even here.
Martin playing the corner guard as you suggest, Don.
Hurry. Heavy. Wow. Well, Donnie.
2 corn brooms in use right now, again, as you see. Martin has kept his since the halfway mark of the game. Petrick, though, has picked up one, or the third man has.
Kevin Park.
Kevin Park.
Well, Kevin Martin started with it. I mean, he hasn't changed his situation at all.
Parks comes and goes.
That was a great shot by David Smith, and almost a fabulous shot. You know, I think at one point he almost had it.
Yeah.
It kind of straightened out on him. I mean, it hit her very, very thin. He just ticked it over.
Very precise shot with big weight as he throws on this one. And you roll away. No notice, even at that speed, if it's hit very thinly, as fast as the rock is rolling away, they keep it clean in case one of those straws just grinds into a halt. You could never be too secure out there. Yep, there goes again. Picked up something. You know, Ray, correct me if I'm wrong, I can't recall when exclusively corn brooms were used. Was this much of a problem?
No, it's got...
Why now? Why?
Well, I'd be filled...
Is it a different kind of broom they're manufacturing?
I don't know, John. I can't answer that. I mean, we played for years and years, and you had no problem, and you didn't see much of that. Sure, you'd see lots of curl, but not such sudden curl, such almost to a halt curl.
As we have stated earlier, this ice this week has been swingy enough. Certainly you can play all the come-around curling you want here if you choose to. Graham Connell shot. This should stick around, at least over in the edge. Not much of a factor there, however.
No, it really doesn't help Kevin Martin whatsoever. Good shot by Graham Connell.
Thought about that corner to clutter it up. Now he goes to the other side.
Well, he'll play this corner probably once more with Kevin Parks. First stone, and then he'll maybe come down and sit on top of the rock that sits in the rings. Try and freeze to it. The one at 3 o'clock in the 12-foot. Another corner guard.
That's good. Clean it up.
Shot, Kev.
Good spot.
That's where he wanted it. That's where he got it.
Well, David Smith, looking at the shot, who is a farmer from Perth, Scotland, certainly has seen quite a harvest of corn today. More than he'd care to see.
He's cornered the market on it.
We better stop right there.
We'll be out of a job soon.
That clock indicates the time remaining, and much has been taken up, sweeping the ice by Scotland.
There's the nose hit.
See, here's a case for the time clock. If it gets to be a problem or one bad rule spills over into another, the timing thing, and could really penalize Scotland for taking the time they have had to clean the ice. Canada, too, to a certain degree, as you see right now, taking up time before shots that way. Canada has about 3 more minutes on the clock than Scotland has. But what happens is, Ray mentioned earlier, in case you don't know, the rule, you're allowed 75 minutes a game, roughly 7.5 per end to get your shots off. But if you get to the last end, there's no more time. You don't throw your last 2 or 3 rocks, and it's lights out. It hasn't happened this week.
No, it hasn't happened since we've had the clocks, as far as I can remember.
Clock starts from the time it is your turn to throw until your rock finishes.
Tight. Line.
You heard him say tight, meaning inside.
Joins in to take it as far as they can. Not quite far enough. Still potentially useful, however.
It was a great line, but it just didn't come far enough. He had the perfect line.
It could be useful for Smith for a potential steal here in this area.
That's right. David Smith's going to go right around it.
Sure, this doesn't pick up and touch the yellow anyway.
First in, first serve sometime, and that's what Kevin Park was. It came up short. It gives David Smith a chance to get around, try and put it right in this area here.
Well,
a lot of ice for the in-turn draw.
Got
to keep it clean. Don't come right off it so it's near that yellow. You'll raise it in.
Got to keep it clean, he said. We're trying this.
5:26.
Talking about the weight.
And Rock barely leaves the ice.
Nice weight.
One. Yep, yep. Hurry! 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 Hurry!
He's got a great shot, but he gets it by. Out of the wreck. Just a corner out there.
That's okay.
Still a pretty good shot. Excellent shot. Kevin Martin's going to pull all the stops out here. He's going to ignore that and go in behind the guard himself.
Martin thinking it's better to gamble because it's very unlikely he'll be able to blank this end.
There'll be no blanks this end.
We almost got Burns saying that about 6 ends ago, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Makes the triple takeout. Made liars of us.
Well, he could play the hit on this one and try and get the roll in that area, but he's decided to come this way. You better make it now, boy, or they'll close it on you.
You said first come, first serve.
Good weight. Hurt. That thing's dying. No, forget it.
Uh-oh, they've lost it.
It's dropped dead. Get rid of it.
Well, it has come back to haunt Kevin Martin. The debris on the ice.
This thing's dying. Gone.
Well, you put it out there.
You live by the corn broom, you die by the corn broom sometimes.
He's going to have a difficult shot to get in. David Smith hasn't made a clear call, but looks to me like he might be coming down, try and tap that one back into that area there. Even if he doesn't get the raise back, he's in good shape. He can also come around the center line guard too. Don, he can play the come around as well, but with that ice, I think he's playing the tap back.
Ever since the second steal of 2 in the 4th end, it really is tilted in Scotland's favor here.
So, same weight, I did.
I think he said the same weight.
Same weight, he said, yeah.
His last rock. Martin still has the hammer.
Come on! Come on, she's good! All right! Come on! Watch out! Yeah!
Just corner here be very nice. Watch this.
What a great shot that is, boy.
A dandy. As Donnie Duguid used to say, I think the only way to get that is to shoot from the other end.
A good call and a terrific shot. Well called by Graham Connell at the other end. This could be your game right here.
Great call, great judgment and execution to make this all work. The key was not hitting it too deep. It's in front of the butt, well guarded. Very tough situation for Martin. He's just got to make sure he's up there for a solid second shot.
I'll say.
Or else you can dim the lights, if not turn them right off here in the Winnipeg Arena.
Mine's good. He's got to catch the full 4-foot.
Bear in mind, there's debris on the ice. You never know what's going to happen with this. He has lost it. He is going to give Scotland 3, and you can just about forget the World Curling Championship for Canada. They'll shake hands and call it a day right there. It's all over over dramatically in the 8th end. 7-2, Scotland wins. Like a thunderbolt of lightning, the Scots capture just their 2nd World Curling Championship ever.
And they're very deserving of it, Don. They hung in. They didn't let the corn bother them. They really played sensational.
A rough day for Canada. The Scots and Norwegians take home the spoils.
It's been a long time coming, but David Smith has paid his dues. He waited a long time to be here, to stand on that podium with a gold medal around his neck, the world champion, and he's very deserving of it. He didn't let the situation on the ice rattle him. The Scots are just ecstatic. Look at them.
Martin's strategy simply blew up in his face. No other way to put it.
No other way to put it. You're right.
He self-destructed here today. And after a long drought dating back to 1967, 24 years, almost a quarter of a century, there's Jimmy Ursel, former champion. This man, David Smith, takes the World Championship trophy back to Scotland. 7-2. It's all over in a hurry in Winnipeg, but we'll be back right after this.
They did it. Scotland beating Canada 7-2. The match would not go the duration. It ends with 3 in the 8th, and David Smith and his team celebrate Scotland's first victory at the World Curling Championship since 1967. Last year, David Smith was a bridesmaid. This year, he is the bride. Don Chevrier with the winner.
Indeed, we are, Rod Black, and a very happy man from Scotland who's brought them their first World Championship since 1967, David Smith. An astonishing afternoon, really, more than a repeat of the other night. It was worse today for you.
Yeah, well, we decided not to complain about the straw today, go on with our game, try and concentrate on playing good shots, and it worked out. We attacked them early on, we played some great shots, and it worked fine. I've lost 2 World Finals before, hitting, trying to make the opposition make mistakes rather than winning it yourself. Today I decided to attack, and it worked out great.
What did it do to your head, though? Obviously, your team handled it very well, the prospect of having to worry about every rock going down the ice. Ironically, your rocks weren't as much of a problem as his.
Well, that's true, yeah. Kevin showed his hand earlier in the week, which is maybe a bad thing to do, bringing on corn against us in the round robin. There wouldn't have been so much of a furore about it if he brought it out today and not in the round robin. But our stones picked up. We decided just to get on with it and try and make the best of it, and it worked out great. It backfired on him.
There were some great gambles taken both ways, and really, before all the debris hit the ice, and 1 or 2 times afterwards, some spectacular shot making.
Yeah, well, it was at the 2nd end, 3rd end down here. He had a possible shot through a port for 4. If he made that, that would have made the game totally different. But he was a wee bit wide, and it worked in our favor again.
You got 500, at least 500 very happy fans up there backing you up all the way. I suspect there'll be a party later on for the people from Scotland.
Well, there's a strong rumor. I think that there could be a massive party at home as well.
David, congratulations on this victory.
Thank you very much,
World champion for
Thank
1991.
you.
And now let's go to Rod Black.
Don, the Scots are singing Flower of Scotland up here, and inside the lyrics they talk about proud Edward's army. Well, today they're talking about proud David's army, the army that took Kevin Martin by storm here at the World Curling Championships. What a difference compared to the women's game, but the men prevail. The Scots lose to Canada earlier in the week. Kevin Martin goes undefeated, except for this game. Let's go down to Ray Turnbull with the runner-up.
Well, Kevin, you had a great run at it. David Smith has lost 2 finals. Unfortunately, I guess it was your turn.
I suppose. That's about how many shots I made, so that's the way it goes, I guess. I just didn't have a very good feel for it today, and he did, and they played well, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah, he some great shots in the early part of the game, but he gave you a chance in that 3rd end, I believe it was, to go through that hole. It would have been a hit for 4.
I could see about a quarter of it. If I get through the hole, we've got it, and threw it just maybe a hair out or something. It didn't curl. My hit, my normal weight hit, raised double curl like crazy across the face, and then the back ring fell of anything. So, I just didn't have it figured out right, that's all.
That's right. It's one of those days, Kev, where just nothing went right. But you had a sensational year. You put a great string together. I guess it's hard to accept a loss like this. I know I stood here myself having lost one, but a big year next year. You got the Olympic Games coming up. So it's your thoughts just about the season as a whole.
Oh, we're pretty proud of what we did. To get through the Brier and to get through everything we got through and all the wins, and
And we knew it'd be tough today. You know, you can't win them all. You know, Smith is it's tough. Yeah, like, if you come out here expecting, hey, we're Canadians, we're going to win, you better shake your head and play a little better than what we played, or we won't win like that.
Absolutely. He's a tremendous team, and they showed it today. Kevin, thank you for all your pleasure that we've had, all the great curling we've watched on your run, and good luck to you next year, and we'll see you at the Olympics. Rod, back up to you.
Ray, very honest and very gracious in defeat, as he was gracious in victory all week long here. He did not lose until today in the men's final against Scotland's David Smith. It has been a tremendous week of curling here. The women's final today won by Doherty Nordby over Julie Sutton, who will be back next year. Kevin Martin will be back as well. Of course, the Olympics are next year in Albertville. It has been a great week for Tracy Wilson as well. You know, she does a lot of globe trotting when she's on the figure skating circuit, but she's put in a lot of mileage as well inside and outside this arena.
The obvious focal point this week is the curling that has been taking place at the Winnipeg Arena. But there is something else that is almost as important, at least to the many fans, and that is the chance to meet old friends at one of the numerous social events that have been going on throughout Winnipeg. There is so much happening, in fact, it's almost impossible to fit everything in one day. Stop the Granite Curling Club, headquarters for the Grand Transoceanic Curling Match. For the past 15 years, the world has been split up into East and West, and a running total of wins has been kept. This year, 1,100 curlers from around the world were competing at 20 different clubs throughout Winnipeg. Since the East was losing, I offered to lend my Scottish friends a hand. Okay, Tom, I think maybe we should try and just knock it here so we can clear it out.
Well, my number 2 is going to give this a shooter and a hammer.
Okay.
She's going to hammer this one out and roll to the front.
Hooray! Hooray! A great way to meet new acquaintances is through pin trading. So the next stop on my list is the Pin Traders Corner at the Hog Line Inn. Over the past decade, pin trading at major sporting events has increased in popularity. My collection has grown considerably, but it's got a long way to go before it catches up to Lauren Kuntz's collection. Lauren has more than 8,000 pins, but is always looking for more. So if I were to show you a pin, how would you know if you had it or not?
Well, I may not have it, but I'm pretty sure that I can tell if I got it or not.
You can pick it out, eh?
Yeah, I can pick it out.
What about,
you know,
I have a very special one here, CTV Sports pin.
Oh, yes.
What do you think? What are you going to trade me for that? I bet you don't have it in your collection.
No, I don't. No, I don't have it in my collection.
Well, one of the most sought-after pins in the world.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah.
We got one from the World Championships here.
Well, no, I haven't got it in my booth. They sold out and they haven't any left right now.
Oh, I missed it already.
You missed it already,
well,
yeah.
Okay. Keep your eye open. If you find one, I'll be back.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
See you around.
Okay.
I've come all the way out to the Hitchin Post because I've heard there's a barbecue on this evening. Well, it sounds like something's happening, so let's take a look.
Girls trade. Swing through and bend. Boy, you run around the girl and come on, circulate one time. You bend your line and hook to the middle and back and a right and left through.
There's nothing like lots of good food and some smiling faces to show good old Western hospitality. Except, of course, square dancing.
Boy, run around the girl. Ferris wheel. Double pass through and track 2. Do a linear cycle.
Whew. Hot in there. Let's go back downtown and see what's happening. Only one more stop before the day's last draw. This is the Hog Line Inn, the hub of all social activities. 8,000 curling fans fill a building that could also hold 6 hockey rinks. The atmosphere only means one thing, the chance to eat, drink, and share stories.
Well, Tracy, you're back in time for the closing ceremonies. A terrific week in Winnipeg will come to an end in a few moments. The closing ceremonies from the World Curling Championships 1991 in a moment. To host the 1991 World Curling Championships, and now it has all come to an end here in Winnipeg. To the Winnipeg Arena. 3 years ago, they had a dream of hosting the World Curling Championships. The dream became reality. A lot of people talk about curling and perhaps a decline in numbers across the world and perhaps even across Canada. Actually, maybe the frequency is down at times in some of the rinks because so many people have so many things to do nowadays. But you see so many people in here today, 12,000 plus the 1,800 or so volunteers, the great curling that went on. And of course, everyone across Canada watching, and it goes to show you that, yes, curling is still booming. And the sights and sounds of the Winnipeg Arena and the smiles on the faces can show you that even though Canada came up second best today, the game, the roaring game, still prospered. Assiniboine Regional Choir, and now let's join Master of Ceremonies, Bob Picken.
These championships are conducted under the auspices of the International Curling Federation, soon to be known as the World Curling Federation. The local direction has come from the Executive Committee of Winnipeg World 91, coupled with Safeway personnel. Would you salute the ICF representatives, the Winnipeg Executive, Safeway reps, and the Executive Committee and National Presidents of the Federation.
In a moment, we'll be back with a presentation of the award.
Where were you in '72? The same year that Canada beat the Soviet Union in Hockey's Summit Series, Canada beat the United States in a bizarre World Curling Championship in Garmisch. While the Americans celebrate what they think is victory, Bobby Labonte jumps for joy, but lands on his back, burning the rock. The skip slip forced an extra end, where Labonte felt even more pain as he slid through the house, giving Melischuk the 72 silver broom.
The great rock burn of 72, and perhaps we will remember this as the great controversy or corn broom of 1991. Fitting now that a Scottish band brings us onto the ice surface to bring the teams out and to also salute our new world champions.
Just as when it opened last week, everybody gets to take part in the closing ceremonies here in Winnipeg. This ice surface virtually filled to capacity now with the pipers, the officials, the marchers with the flags, and of course all the competing teams get one more moment of glory, Ray.
Well, it was a sensational opening, and you've got to expect it's going to be a fabulous closing. Just so many people involved in the pageantry of this event. Of curling in general, Don, is the pipes, all the nations that are here, they've treated us to some fantastic shot making. We had great ice all week by Don Atkinson and his crew. And what is it, 1,800 volunteers? Can you believe it? It's unbelievable. The city, the province, the country got behind this. And as a Winnipegger, I am unbelievably proud, I can tell you.
Well, you may get a little argument from people in Alberta and Saskatchewan, but when you come right down to it, it is hard to equal Manitoba for the love of curling and the enthusiasm for this great game over the years. They're displaying that this afternoon. Let's go back to Rod Black.
Thank you, gentlemen. Certainly a lot of spirit, a lot of prairie pride and prairie warmth in the building right now. We'll be back to wrap up the 1991 World Curling Championships on CTV from the Winnipeg Arena. Championships are coming to a close. Here is Bob Pickin.
Marching to the medal podium always is one of the proud moments in the life of any athlete. The first teams to accept your tribute are the bronze medalists in the women's division from Scotland and Sweden.
Here come the co-bronze medal winners in the women's division from Sweden and Scotland, the losers of the semifinals yesterday.
Christine Allison and Annette Norberg, and both these teams put on fantastic displays here this week. Annette Norberg was just sensational.
So the medal presentations continue here in the Winnipeg Arena in the aftermath of the World Curling Championships 91. The championship medals coming up in just a moment.
1991 Canada Safeway World Curling Championships open. To the curlers, I say good luck and good curling.
This week, Winnipeg is hosting one of the most prestigious winter sports events in the world, the Canada Safeway World Curling Championships at the Winnipeg Arena. Featuring the top men's and women's competitors in the game, the Canada Safeway World Curling Championships offer Manitoba the opportunity to show the rest of the world the warmth and friendliness that make our province such a special place. Safeway is proud to be part of an event that is attracting more than 8,000 visitors to our city. More than 5,000 are visiting for the first time. Every day, over 13,000 spectators are in attendance to enjoy the great curling action. The economic impact, including dollars spent on hotels, restaurants, shops, and services, will be more than $25 million. In addition, the Canada Safeway World Curling Championships will be viewed on television by more than 2 million Canadians and by millions more all around the world, giving our city and province a profile that we can benefit from for years to come.
The Canada Safeway World Curling Championships are something that every Manitoban can be truly proud of. On behalf of our 5,300 employees in...
Picking to bring out Team Canada.
United States of America and Norway.
The last time that Winnipeg hosted the Silver Broom was in 1978. It was the Silver Broom then. Ironic that Canada finishes now with silver medals here at these World Championships. The opening day of Blue Jay baseball on CTV, April the 8th, 2 o'clock on CTV. Please check your listings. Scotland and Norway are champions here in Winnipeg.
This has been a special presentation of CTV Sports, Canada's official Olympic network.
I now declare the 1991